normally the Let's have a look. Oh yes, we're live on Twitch and on YouTube. Very nice. Okay, I'm just gonna make a Discord announcement and then I'm gonna start the development. Any chatters? No, that's a bot. There we go. Discord announcement made. Alright. We got the stream elements and we got the wizbots. Cool. Yeah, I think we can start then. I think everything is set up. I'm just gonna double check if I'm live on YouTube. Yeah, I am. Great. So if you're watching on YouTube, please leave a like. I think it will help out a lot with the algorithm, of course. And yeah, if you're watching on Twitch, leave a message so I know you're here. I can say hello. And then let's get into it, I guess. If the music is too loud, you can always tell me. And also the chats, I'm gonna try and look at the chat, but it's gonna be a bit hard because I only have one screen. And I don't think there's a restream chat on the phone. Let me quickly check. Because if there is, that would be very handy. Oh, there might be, actually. Okay, and can I check the chat on my phone? Chat. I hope I can. Hey, I can. Nice. Alright, I got my chat next to me and I got all the streams. Nice, we can start. Alrighty. So, first of all, let me check the Trello. What is on the board for today? Okay, let's do spike traps. Let's make a quick spike trap. Actually, let me also put Maya in there so you guys can see it. Window capture Maya. Okay. Is this it? I'm gonna say this. This is it. Okay. Yep. Yeah. Okay. This is good. One more thing. I know. My phone needs to stay on for a longer amount of time before turning off. But I don't know how to do that. How to and the auto locks in terms of okay, tap display and brightness. Oh yeah, I found it. Nice. Alright, now my phone won't turn off. And now I can just keep the chat next to me. Okay. Cool. Now, spike trap. Let's obviously start with a cube. Do it like that. Put a little bevel in there. Yep. I guess we can I need to put something on here to make sure that the player knows that there's spikes on there. But who? I guess I can just use a cylinder for that. Or actually, let's already use the spikes. Okay, some low poly spikes. And we copy that one around. Like so. And then we got ourselves a spike trap, I think. Let's rotate this a bit. Yep. Now, let's make a duplicate out of this. And then select all of these. And then this. And use a boolean to take the difference. Oh, okay. Maybe it should be reversed? Question mark. Difference. Yes. Huh. That's a lot of angles. Oh, I see something wrong here with the mesh. What is this? Yo. What? Kinda weird, man. Get the target weld, and that should be fixed. Let's check it out. Yep. And then also do the same here on top. Okay. And now we delete this guy and this guy and this. Oh, why are you not getting deleted? Nice. And then let's get you over there. And you over there. Now, yep. Something went terribly. Oh god, it happened to all of them. Okay, and that's why you have a backup. Let's get another backup. What is all of this? This can go. So I think what we're trying to do is mesh booleans and let's say difference. That's no good. Do they have some weird mesh to it or something? No. I mean, we can also just give it a color, I think. You know what, let's do that. Let's give this let's give this an ambient occlusion. Okay, let's calculate this ambient occlusion. That's it then. Wait, it's 1042, right? Wait, what is the resolution? Damn, I forgot. Oh, it's 1080, right? I don't know. Is it? You know what? Let's do 512 times 2 is 10. Yeah, 1024. Okay, output folder. Let's put it in here, and then here, and then let's say a new folder, spike trap, and boom. Okay. Right, that should be rendered now. Oh yeah, I'm also gonna make an unwrap really quickly. I guess we can just do it automatic. All I really need is the top face, this one. Okay, what is this? Can you please stitch? Thank you. Stitch. Okay. Yep, that should be fine for now. And let's make an UV out of that. Save it in here. UV underscore spike trap. Oh, that's a lot of capitals. Okay. Now we need this one. We can just drag in all of the files. Let me find them. Yep, here they are. And that's the AO. Which was made before the unwrap, which was not good. But anyways. Who really cares? Am I right, gamers? Hell yeah. I'm gonna say that I'm pretty sure that it's this, but I'm gonna move it a bit here and a bit up. Something like this. Should be it, I think. Alrighty. No. First backgrounds. Please, no white. Oh god, no. Bad. Put you on multiply. Yep. Put you on overlay. And then just make a quick texture. Yeah, I'm not gonna plug my drawing tablet in just for this. What I am going to do is actually this is fine, right? What if we save this as a PNG? Here, and here, and then spike trap texture. Alright, let me have a look. If I put it in here. New material. Arnold, yeah, standard surface. And then we should get this file. Yes, and now when I hide these, oh, they don't want to be hidden. Why not? They do. Oh yeah, textures, please. Okay, so then it looks like that. Okay, that's cool. I think that should be good enough. Alright. Now I do want to know where my cones are at. There they are. Yep, something like this. Let me quickly see if anyone has put something in the chat. No. Alright, someone has left a like on YouTube. Thanks for that. Appreciate it. Oh, by the way, you couldn't see my Photoshop. Okay, I just now realized that. Sorry for that. Alright, but this should be it. I'm gonna make one mesh out of this, combine, and I'm gonna delete all of the history, and I'm gonna spike grounds and spikes. Alright, let's do one more delete history and then let's export this to Unity. Alright, that should be exported. Let's have a look. Okay, now it's still watching my Maya. Let me turn that off. We're back in the business of Unity. Interactable assets. Okay, this should not be in assets. This should just be in interactable, and assets should not be here. Alright, so we have a spike trap now. Big boy. I think this should be a good size. Let me drag it to the camera. Okay. Alright, and then let me check the materials. I think I've made a mistake. Yeah, I did. I need to make a Lambert material. Lambert 1. And here I will assign a texture. Because otherwise it doesn't work. Alright, this is bad. Oh. Lambert color, you can be gray. Gray and... Can you have metalness? No. We'll do that in Unity. Okay, but this should be good. Wait, I'm gonna delete the history first. Yep. Selection. Okay, back to Unity. Alright, now it has a different material. And I'm also pretty sure that when I unpack this and I look in here, yep. So now I just need to give it this texture. Okay, it doesn't want it. That's amazing. Why you no want my texture, please? Also, does this still work?
Test.
And it does. Nice. Do I make a new material or something? This is really weird. Create material. Yes, finally. Alright. Now I need a box collider. Let's first make a prefab. Also, Maya can go away now. Bye. Okay. I'm gonna guess that I'm not gonna be able to step on it right now. Oh, I can. Okay. Now I want. Nope. Time for code. And OBS is probably not gonna record it, so I'm gonna make another window capture. It doesn't seem. Oh, okay, there we go. Now you can see my Visual Studio. Zoom in a bit. Start, probably gonna be nothing. We need the mine scripts as a reference. Make a layer. Yes. Check if the mine still is the same layer. Yep. Cool. Oh yeah, God damn it, this is confusing. Okay. Back to Visual Studio. So we need an on collision. On collision enter. We need our game object spikes. Now let's make a serialized field out of that. And then we just show the spikes. And then, okay, let's maybe already test this if it works. So okay, nothing is there. If you touch it, okay. Oh yeah, okay, I know what's happening. We didn't assign the spikes, of course. Unity mistake 101. Okay, nothing is there. We touch it. Oh, nothing happens still. That is weird. Why not? On collision enter. Oh, I see. You need a rigid body. You are no use gravity. You are kinematic, yes. Let's also just freeze all the positions for that great optimization. Yep, okay, so I expect this to work. And it doesn't. Okay. Why you no work? Let's debug the log. Player stepped upon the spike trap. Hopefully that prints something. And it doesn't. Player. Oh, okay. I think I'm pretty sure what's happening. Yeah, there should be a non-trigger enter, probably. Okay. So we just... Let me have a look at my mine. Box collider here is not set to trigger. And a rigid body that uses gravity. What will this do? That is some weird stuff. Okay. Or not. What the hell? Okay, so let's use a non-trigger enter then. Oh yes, now it works. Nice. Now after this we want to set a rigid body to kinematic, because we don't want to keep checking for an overlap if the spikes are already out. No. Component. No, rigid body. God damn it. Rigid body. Trap. Rigid body. Oh god damn it, yeah, I forgot to show you guys. Nice. And then we will set a trap RB dot is kinematic to true. Is equal to true. Okay. See. Okay, works. And then what if we start without gravity? Does that still work? Yes. Okay, so that's just optimization. Okay, mine and trap work. No. We want to kill the player. So let's jump over to Visual Studio. Hey, we got a follower. Who is following? Oh, damn, everything is above it. It is... I'm not good at Twitch. Alright, thanks for the follow, man. I appreciate it very much. My Visual Studio was above it. Sorry for that. I will fix that now. But hey, thanks for the follow, man. I really appreciate that. Let's move Unity to the bottom and let's use... Alright, next time someone follows, it will be above everything. That's clever. You know, wait, I think it's Stream Elements that I use. I can just run it again. Stream Elements. Hey, but welcome to the stream, man. I really appreciate you being here. You're the first one joining today. Welcome, welcome. You don't want to be looking at boring code, do you? Look at my Unity. I'm gonna say no. I don't use Stream Elements. It's something else, but I don't know what it was anymore. God damn it! What you making? Well, let me just show you the game in full screen. All right. So I am making Trifox. It's a indie game made by GlowFish. They are some indie developers in Kortrijk in Belgium, and yeah, for my final exam in June, I need to basically remake the whole game as good as I can. And so this is as far as I am. So the player is already looking at the mouse all the time. There's like a little ball indicating where the mouse is, and the player is always looking at there. So you can jump, no double jump. You can press shift and then you have a propeller, and then the propeller lasts for 2 seconds, and you can like fly for 2 seconds. And then when you click, you have a railgun. You can like shoot people or enemies, crabs. In the game there are crabs, so I need to make crabs. Then right mouse click is a mine. You can place mines, and if you touch the mine becomes red over time. So there's like 2 seconds. So if you touch it, the mine gets 2 seconds to turn fully red. So you'll see it like lerp to red. Like look at it. It becomes red over time. Oh, there it didn't work for some reason. Boom, there. And then you got this button, the forward mouse button, creates a wall. You can't go through a wall. You can jump over a wall, I think. Yep. And you can propel over a wall. Yeah, so that stops the bullets and also the enemies. And the middle mouse button, you put a turret down, and the turret will shoot the enemies too. Oh, I just now noticed that you can walk through the turret. That's not very convenient. but that's something to fix for later. Actually, we can fix that right now. That's pretty easy to fix. So we can just add a... let's add a sphere collider. No, not a sphere, a capsule collider. But yeah, that's basically my game until now. Oh yeah, I guess you've seen the spike traps, right? I just made those 5 minutes ago. So when you touch them, basically spikes come out, and that's basically it. Yep. Alright. Anyways, capsule collider. Go here. Go here. Center should be 0, 0, 0. BRB, yep, man. Okay. Let's test. Yep, now I can't go into the turret anymore. Maybe it's a bit big. I can make it a bit smaller. By the way, tell me when you're back, because then I'll show you the original game. Why no? Okay, there we go. Yep, this looks like a good collision box. Okay. I guess we can delete this one. And then other game objects. We will destroy this. Yep, okay. So the player dies, but I'm not gonna use that right now for testing purposes. Oh yeah, I always forget to switch between the code and Unity. It's very annoying. Maybe I should use you know what? Fuck it. Fuck it. Let's just use a display capture. There you go. Now you can see everything. Everything is at your command. No. What now? Let's look at the game for reference. Trifox. Okay, so there's no sound because I turned it off. Okay, but I want to look at the spike trap, and it's a bit further into the level. Get out of here. Okay, so here's the spike trap, right? You can see the holes, and if you touch it, yeah, there's basically a small timer between the first time you touch it and when the spikes pop out, so you can. Okay, so it's like a pressure plate. Oh, goddammit, scraps. Get out of here. Yeah, so I guess I can touch it and run away. Yep. There's actually one here too. One here too. But there's even enough time to just run straight and it won't hurt you. Oh, okay. Yeah, so I guess I should make a small timer between when you touch it and when the spikes pop out. Let's do that. So one thing we can do is move the spike trap just down a bit on the Y. I guess I can. Okay, so transform. I guess we need an update. Wait, you guys can see my VS? Yep, you can. Let's do transform dot dot position. Oh, it's capital. Is equal to new vector 3. Or actually, let's do transform not translate. Mine. I need a lerp. Color that lerp. Yeah, so then I guess it's gonna be position. And we'll do new vector 3 lerp. Nope. Vector 3 lerp. Yep. And we will lerp from we will lerp the transform dot position to transform dot position minus. So make a variable for that float. Float. What do you call it? I don't know. Trap movement, whatever, minus trap movements. And I just now noticed that that's not a good name. It should be like this. And I set it equal to 2. And then let's do time dot delta time. What do you need? Oh. Wait, what's wrong? Oh, yep, I see. Wait, why does he expect... Why do you expect another one of those? Oh. I see. Okay. No, let's put it in a new statement. Bool is activated is equal to false. If is activated, we will lerp. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, we never set it to true. Is activated is equal to true. And then we want to set this after the lerp. Let's see. Okay, it's not the expected behavior. Oof, yes. That's already a bit better. No, I don't want it to lerp that big. Okay, that's maybe also a bit big. I think it will keep going then. Yeah. Okay, that's already better. Okay. And so then the spikes are active. And then after all of this is finished, let's make another timer. This is the ground trap timer. Spikes up timers. Spikes up timers. Then we want to set the is active to, we want to inactivate the spikes again. And we want to disactivate it. This will not work, I'm pretty sure. Okay, so he waits for a couple of seconds, then the spikes turn active. So that's here. Ah, this should be here. I think. But why does it keep moving down? Ah, okay. Hmm. If okay, let's just look it up. How to make a pressure plate. Okay, that's not good. Trap movement. I see. I'm gonna guess that it's this. Yes. Okay, I still can't activate it, but the thing is that I think that it's an animation. I guess we should make an animation. How to make animation?
A lot of new creative possibilities for you to play around with. Let's go. Animating in Unity is fairly easy. If you want to animate something, just select the object you want to animate, then click on Window, Animation, and Animation. Then this window here will pop up, which you can also put somewhere in your interface. You simply click Create to create a new animation, then it will ask you where you want to save that animation. I usually just create a new folder for that. You can also give your animation a name. I'll just call this one Cube Test. Then this will show up, this timeline. You can move to the left. Left and right by holding the middle mouse button in this timeline. Then you can zoom in and out with the mouse wheel. You can hit play with space, so the animation starts playing. You see how long it is. At the moment it's 1 second long. And now if we want to animate this, the easiest way to do so is just to hit this little record button right here. Click, and then just wiggle this around a little bit, and then you can see here the properties that were recorded by Unity are the position of the cube. Now if we move to a different position of the timeline, for example to 1 second, and just move the cube over here, then now the cube will move from here to here. And we have successfully
okay.
we created our first animation. Yay! Of course, you can see that it then snaps back to the beginning once the animation stops. If you want to make an animation that loops, there's a very simple way to do that as well. The only thing you need to do in order to create a looping animation is to make sure that the last keyframe is the same as the first keyframe. So what you can do here is, of course, selecting keyframes, moving them around. If you want to duplicate those, we can just hit Ctrl C, Ctrl V, and we'll have the exact same keyframe over here, where now it moves to the left and then it moves back. Now if we have a look at the cube, we can see that an animator component was automatically attached to it. Of course,
But I don't want it to loop. Why does it loop?
first note that you cannot animate this cube when it's not selected. For example, if I select this cube in the background here, there's no animation here. You need to select the correct object in order to work on the animation. And then whenever you create the first animation for an object, there's another thing that is created automatically, which is this controller right here. If we double click that, this window here will open, which we can later use to transition between different animations. You can see here, this is the animation we created, cube test, that's how I called the animation. And of course, sometimes you want to transition from one animation to another one. That's what this window is all about. The animator window is this one, and then the animation window is this one down here. Well, let's not worry about that one. I just wanted to let you know that this animator exists as well. And in fact, that animator is in here as well with the animation. Here we can see the animation we created. If I double click that, this timeline opens, I can see the animation. And if I click this, then the animation controller opens and I can see how different animations transition between each other. Entry just means this is the beginning that is played at the start, and you can see that is connected to cube test, so that will just be the animation that is played from the start. If you want to change the speed of the animation, you can do so here in the animator window. For example, I can reduce the speed of that animation to 0.25. Now it should be played at a lot slower pace once I hit play, which is in fact the case. If I set that to 2, then the animation will be a lot faster. Now here are two big issues I ran into when I started animating stuff in Unity. The first one is when you attach a rigid body to the object, it actually doesn't do anything. If the animation is animating the position of the object, then what's happening is that the animation is constantly overwriting the position up here, the position coordinates. So all of that physics stuff falling down, etc., will not work. And then the other thing that is really annoying if you don't know how to deal with it is that you cannot move this cube anymore. For example, if I want to move this cube, see, at the moment it starts in the center of the screen, this is the camera view. If I want to move this further to the left, so it starts over here, yes, I can do that. But once the animation starts playing, so once I hit play, let's just hit play, it pops back to the center. And once again, the reason for that is because I animated the position of this object, right? This animation at the beginning of the frame sets the position exactly to these coordinates. So pretty much no matter where I move this block, I can also move it completely into the nirvana, doesn't really matter. If I hit play, it will still come back to the position where you animated it. So how do you deal with those things? Luckily, there is a solution. First of all, let me just delete those animations, because as you can see, that's clearly not the way to do it. So the only way you can make that work, unfortunately, is by creating an empty object. Cube parent, and put the cube inside that. Make sure that the cube parent has the scale 1, 1, 1. Make sure that the cube inside the cube parent has the position 0, 0, 0. So they're both at the same position. And now what we can do is we can animate this object in here. Let's just create a new animation in here. And now we can do pretty much the exact same thing. We'll hit the record button, wiggle this object around a little bit here. And at the 30-second mark, perhaps I'll move it up a little bit. 1 second mark here. Half a second, 1 second, I'll move it back down, so now it's moving up and down. But the difference this time is that this animation is actually happening inside a parent object, see? So we're overwriting the position inside of the parent object. We are overwriting the position relative to the parent object. But the actual coordinates of the parent object are not animated. So that means we can change the coordinates of that parent object in whatever way we please. Now once again, if we move the cube inside here, it will absolutely have make no difference. Like once we hit play, it will go back to where it started. But what we can do is we can move this cube parent around now. So now I can have one here, I can have one here, here, and they all are animated relative to their parent object, which allows me to move them around, which is very nice. Yeah. And that once again probably allows us to do some pretty interesting stuff. Perhaps we should give these cube parents a little icon here so we can see where they are. You can just do that by...
Let's test it already. Yes.
Clicking here and then selecting one of these little images. So now if I accidentally grab one of these cubes, I can see that I moved the wrong object. So the cool thing is now we can go pretty wild with this. For example, I can duplicate this cube parent and I can put it inside this cube. So an animated object inside an animated object. Now we have two cubes, look, and then we can even rotate these objects. For example, I can rotate that to the side now, which will result in an animation that looks like this. Then what if I rotate this cube parent here by another 90 degree, and we'll have an animation that looks like this. So with all of the knowledge you have right now, I'd really encourage you to play around a little bit and see if you can just build something that looks cool. That's a nice exercise, nice practice. For example, what I can do with this is duplicating this a couple of times in different rotations. Just by duplicating this animation a couple of times, now we suddenly have something that looks like this, which is very nice. Why don't we duplicate that again and this time rotate it around this axis here. Very cool. What if I want this entire object to rotate now? What I can do for this is once again just putting this into a parent object, calling this parent object, for example, star. Let's put all of these cubes inside of our star, and then I want to animate the rotation and the scale of this. As long as I'm not animating the position, by the way, I can put the animation directly onto this object. If I wanted to animate the position, I would once again put this star inside another empty object to make sure that I can still move the object around after the fact. But as I don't plan to animate the position, I can just do it right here. I'll click create animation. Here we go. I'll click the record button, wiggle around the rotation a bit. Here we go. Now the rotation's in there. Maybe it should take about 7 seconds to make one full turn. So I'll just go to the 7-second marker and enter 360 degree for my rotation here. I accidentally got the position in here as well. Started animating the position. That's what I didn't want. So let's remove these properties, and then all you're left with is a rotation. Here you can see the properties that are animated. Okay, and as you can see, it's not really rotating properly around its center, which in some cases is what you want. In this case, it's not really. I'll just set the relative position of all of these to 0. Make sure that you're not having this record button selected here whenever you do stuff like that. Just uncheck that. And then I can set this to 0. This is not something I want to animate. I just want it to be in the center, please. And now we can see that it's rotating properly around the center, because all of these objects are actually in the center of this object, of course. If we grab all of these, right, move them further away, and then let's give the star here a yellow dot so we can see where it is. Of course, now if we start rotating this yellow dot and this is inside the yellow dot, then of course everything will rotate around the yellow block. So that's also kind of a technique you can use to do that if that's what you want. But if you don't want that, then just make sure everything's centered correctly. And now one thing you can see here when we hit play is that it kind of starts off slowly and then also stops slowly in the end. And I don't want that. I just want it to be a smooth transition. See, it kind of stops here and then it starts rotating again. The reason for that is these animations are smoothed by default, which is nice usually, but in some cases you don't want that. So if you want to see a little more in detail what's going on here, you can actually click on curves down here in your animation window. You can switch back and forth between drop sheet and curves, and in curves you can just see a little in more detail what's happening. Once again, you can zoom in and out with the mouse wheel. If you just want to zoom out in the x-axis, you hit control and scroll in and out. If you want to scroll only in the y-axis, you hit shift and scroll up and down. And you can see this is the rotation that I animated, and it's a smooth curve. Now if I want to turn that into a straight curve, I could just grab these handles, and try to smooth it out manually. However, the easier way is to just right click on this keyframe, then go to both tangents and click linear, which will just remove those handles altogether and make sure it's a linear transition instead of a smooth one. Let's right click here as well, select linear, and now we have a very linear straight animation that just gives this a very smooth rotation. And yeah, it loops perfectly. That's exactly what I wanted. Very, very nice. And now the fun comes in when we play both of those animations at once, right? So when we hit play, we can see now that both of those animations are playing which looks really cool. By the way, one little mistake that seems to happen to some people is that they zoom in the game window here, which will obviously make everything very, very pixelated. So in case that happens, just zoom out. Just don't zoom in the game window here. In the scene window, here you can zoom in without danger. And now, of course, we can keep playing this game, right? We can just create a new child object here, or a parent object here, for example. I'll call that orbit, and this orbit, I'll just give this a nice little handle so I can see where it is. What if we give this orbit multiple stars? Let's put these stars inside of the orbit, just using the coordinates here to align this perfectly the way I want. Okay, very nice. Now I can give this orbit an animation as well. Selecting the orbit, going through the animation window, clicking create animation. This time I want to animate size and rotation. One thing to note, of course, is that if we animate the size here, then yes, this will in fact override the size variable, meaning that it will not be possible for us to change the size of this later on, except for when we put this inside of another object, then we can change the size again. Okay, so now it has a little bit of a wobble animation, getting smaller and bigger. Let's stretch that out a bit longer. When you have multiple keyframes selected, you can just stretch them like this. If you want to go exactly to the next keyframe, you can use this button here. This will jump the pointer directly on top of the next keyframe. This one to the last keyframe, this to the very end, and this one to the very beginning of the animation. This is quite useful because, of course, if you want to edit a keyframe, you need to be exactly on top of it. For example, if I go here slightly before the keyframe, if I change something here, then of course there will be an animation between those two keyframes, even though they're very close together. So just make sure that when you change a keyframe, you're exactly on top of it. That is quite interesting. I feel like the initial animation we made should be a little slower, so I'll go to our cube animator and just slow that animation down a little bit here, cube test. Actually go back to 0.25. I feel like that will make the animation a bit more chill. Yeah. And now one of the cool things we can do with this as well is, for example, we can also just animate the camera position exactly the same way. Just selecting the camera, hitting create animation, then I'll hit record, put the camera here, make sure that the animation ends with that keyframe as well. And of course this animation is too fast, so I'll just zoom out, select the entire animation, make it a little bit longer. Yeah, this looks nice and smooth. We can see our beautiful animation in action. Now I just added a custom skybox that is a little more purple, yellowish. If you wanna know how to do that, you basically just create a material, and then for the material shader you select skybox procedural, and then once you have that you can change the skybox color, and then in your lighting tab, which you can open with window rendering lighting settings, here you can select your skybox. So you can just select your custom skybox there, and then I added a cool backlight, this fill light here, and suddenly we have something that looks like this. Hell yeah, that looks quite cool. That is our first result of the day. Knowing what you know now, you can obviously start utilizing this for gameplay purposes as well. For example, we can turn this block into an elevator that drives back and forth between those two locations. Great animation. Now if we hit play, we should be able to use that elevator. Get on there. And here we are. It works. The only thing you might notice is that this elevator doesn't really have any physical properties, meaning it doesn't really accelerate the ball. That is the case because this is not a rigid body. But there is a way we can make this work in a physical way as well. Let's just clear everything from our animation in here. And now what we can do is we can give this a rigid body, and then the axes we want to freeze are the Y and the Z axis, as the elevator is only supposed to move on the X axis, right? Here in the rigid body we'll freeze Y and Z is what I want to freeze. And then I also want to freeze the rotation, so this elevator doesn't rotate in any weird ways. And then we'll just tell this to interpolate to make it look a little nicer. And we already made a script in one of the recent tutorials that is called add constant velocity. Pretty much all the script does is it applies velocity to this object. This right here is literally the entire script. There's just velocity, and in the fixed update we add that velocity to that object. And the cool thing is we can also animate those parameters in that object. So what we can do is hit record, and then at the beginning we set the velocity to 0.1. A bit later we'll set it to minus 0.1 to make the elevator move in the opposite direction, and then we'll turn it around, make it turn around again to make the animation loop. And let's stretch that over the course of, let's say, 10 seconds. And now this elevator should actually work in a way that is physically more correct. As you can see now, it interacts in a more physically correct way with us. So yeah, now we get some really momentum from being on here. Now once you're past that elevator, I here want to have a bridge that automatically lowers down when the player's in the correct position, just like that. At the beginning the bridge should be like this, and then once the player is in the correct position, I want it to lower down. And by the way you can make a block tilt like that is once again by putting it into a child object right here, right? Because if you just rotate this right here, then it doesn't rotate around the correct position. But if you have another object that you offset by a little bit and then you put that bridge into that object, then once you start rotating the object here from the coordinates, it will rotate from this new pivot here, which is always very useful for animating, knowing how you can offset pivots like that. And now for this bridge, I will actually create two animations. I'll create one idle animation. Why would a bridge need an idle animation like that? I have no idea. Maybe it's broken, maybe it's... yeah, it looks like it's broken. Can't close. That is our first animation. Now if you want to add a second animation to an object, because objects can have multiple animations, you click here and select create new clip, and then you can just create a new clip for this, and this one will be bridge closed. So basically, how will the bridge look like when it's closed? This will be a very simple animation because it won't even be an animation. I'll just rotate this down here. Voila. So that's it. An animation can also just be one keyframe. Once the bridge is down here, I don't really want it to be animated, so that will just be a one keyframe animation. Now what we can do is we can go into that grip animator. We should now see both of those animation clips that we've created, right? We have bridge idle, which is the one that will be played by default. We can see that from entry we'll go to bridge idle, so this animation will play on by default. If you want to change the default animation from this to this, then what you can do is you can right click onto entry, set machine default state, and then you can just drag the arrow to this, so now the default state will be closed. But in fact, we want the default state to be bridge idle, and then from bridge idle we want the animation to be able to transition to the closed bridge, right? To these transitions you can actually apply certain conditions if you want. If you don't apply any conditions, then after playing this animation once, the animation will just continue onwards to this. It instantly falls down because the idle animation is just played once, and then it instantly goes to the bridge closed state. We can also change the length of that transition here, by the way. If we want that transition to be a lot longer, we can just make it longer here, and now the bridge should close down a lot more slowly. But we don't really want the bridge to close down right away, right? We kind of want this animation to be triggered only under specific circumstances, and that's why there are certain parameters over here. You can see there are layers and parameters. We'll not worry about layers. You can create a new parameter by clicking the plus here, and a parameter is basically a very...
Okay. So we animate downwards. And then do I change this arrow? Hello.
Default state and animation to idle, which is later. We should now one keyframe just down here. Now what we can do is we can go into that blip animator. We should now see both of those, and now what we can do is we can go into that blip animator. We should now see both of those animation clips that from entry will go from this to this, then drag the arrow and right click onto entry, set machine default state, and then you can just drag the arrow. Arrow to this, so now look like, for example, you could also do an integer, call this int test, and then as a condition, for example, you could add that
I'll be right back, guys. I'm gonna get something to eat.